So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and Baro has come once again, and this time around he's on the Chronia Relay on Saturn. So the menu is pretty good this time around, with the first item being the domestic dice drone. This is an Orokin themed Roomba that will zoom around your orbiter and hoover it up, though it is very expensive, 650,000 credits and 800 ducats. Sheesh. Moving on from there, we have the Primed Smite Grenier. This at maximum rank gives you 55% bonus damage to Grenier on melee weapons. Then we have Prime Heated Charge, which is for pistols, and at maximum rank this provides 165% bonus heat damage. This is followed up by Primed Pistol Ammo Imitation. This is actually nice for some weapons, mostly bullet hose weapons that consume a lot of ammo because this mutates it at a very high rate. And finally we have Primed Tactical Pump, which at maximum rank provides 100% extra reload speed for shotguns. This can still be useful on a handful of shotguns. Moving on from there, we have the Prisma Koi Sentinel Tail. This is a fairly basic yet good looking accessory for your Sentinel. So if you're one of the few people that still runs a Sentinel instead of a Moa or a Kubro or a Kavat or something like that, this might be a good pickup for you. Up next, we have the Prisma Sigil. This is very cheap, 50 ducats and 50,000 credits, and it looks pretty good. It's a nice looking sigil that you can put on either the front or the back of your frame. Next on the menu, we have some spicy Elixir skins, starting off with the Redeemer. I say this every time, but the Elixir skins are my absolute favorites. Out of all the skins, they look so very good, and they add a ton of texture to every single item that you can apply them to. The second Elixir skin, by the way, is for the Tigress, which once again looks absolutely fabulous, and both the Redeemer as well as the Tigress skins work for all the versions of the weapon, so you can use them on the Primed versions as well as the Syndicate variant of the Tigress. After that, we have a 3-day resource booster. This is fairly expensive, but I mean, if you have ducats and credits, you might as well get this if you're intending to farm something for the next few days. And then he also brought some weapons, starting off with the Volca Wraith. This is an okay Mastery Rank 7 sniper rifle with 3 different zoom levels, but the main issue with it is that it does primarily impact damage and the crit stats on it aren't all that great. We have 20% crit chance and a 2x crit multi. So I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this. And the second weapon on the menu is the Prisma Angstrom. Now this one I will actually recommend. Not necessarily because the weapon itself is all that good, I mean it's okay, it's an absolutely ridiculous secondary rocket launcher, but actually because it's one of the 5 weapons that were given an Incarnon Genesis adapter with the echoes of the VD update. Next up, we have the Prisma Kubro glyph. This is one of my favorite glyphs of all time. It's very colorful, very simple, but looks absolutely stunning. And then comes the Scimitar Cydonia skin. Now, this one looks like it's made out of clay most of the time, but if you pick the right colors, it actually looks pretty sick. I think it's at its best when you have high contrasting colors, so white and black, bright red and black, that kind of stuff. Black just works really well on it. Moving on from there, we have our first ephemera, and it's the Lotus ephemera. This is a fairly basic but nice looking ephemera that spawns lotus flowers around your Warframe. Then we have a sneaky little primed mod that somehow ended up on the second page, and it's the Primed Smite of Corrupted, which gives you 55% bonus damage to Corrupted on a melee weapon. Now following that, we have the Tanukai armor set, so the leg plates, the chest plate, as well as the shoulder plates. The best way to describe this in my opinion is that it's somewhat basic, but I think that works in its favor. Because a lot of the time, over-the-top armor sets that have a ton of detail can be difficult to fit onto a frame without them looking out of place, whereas an armor set like this looks fine on any Warframe you put it on. Next on the list we have some displays, starting off with the Zaku Prex. These Prex displays, for whatever reason, are extremely bright whenever I put them down in my orbiter, which is a shame because they are actually very nice when they're not bright as hell. This might not be the poster's fault though, I may have just changed some settings in the options menu and it just makes them bright, I don't know. And the second display on offer is the Don't Be Afraid poster. This is one of my favorite posters of all time, it is absolutely top notch. And we are slowly nearing the end with the Reshan tool called Syandana. This is, no joke, one of my favorite Syandanas in the entire game. The design and texture of this and the way it displays colors is absolutely perfect. It's so worn out and torn, I love the way this looks, and I would actually love to have an expanded version of this Syandana that's maybe a little bit bigger. Moving on, we have the, my god, Transmuter Operator Hood. I refuse to buy this because it looks ridiculous. Look at him. Look at him. Does that look like the face of someone that's happy about their new hat? But anyway, the second to last item on the menu today is the Fate Path ephemera, and there's a reason why this ephemera is so cheap. It's because it's barely noticeable, though it does add a bit of effect to your Warframe, so if you don't have any other ephemeras or you just like the look of this one, definitely pick it up. And the final item on the menu is, as always, the Sons of Inaros questline blueprint, which is the item you need if you want to get Inaros. Now, as far as my recommendation goes, I would definitely prioritize Prime Heated Charge because it's very good on a lot of different secondary weapons, and then if you're a sweaty nerd and you like to push out the maximum amount of damage out of your weapons, pick up the Primed Smite mods because faction damage is a really good damage multiplier. And then I would actually recommend the Prisma Angstrom because while we don't yet know what the Incarnum Prisma Angstrom is going to be like, I am willing to say that it's probably not going to be terrible. And that is pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I would like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. And if you would like to become a channel member as well, you can check out the memberships and stuff down below. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.